All right, it was time to go live because we could not get our video processed. So we uploaded our video to Twitch. We got on the PC. We're going to download screen recording software. And we're going to bypass all this nonsense. So what we'll do is we will simply play the video on Twitch for now as we do some software upgrades. See if we can get her to load. Looks like that content's not available unless I have a time machine. Good morning, Manuela. Great. And now we're watching the video we just streamed. That's really helpful. Now you're in a time loop. Welcome. Welcome to the time loop. Please bear with us as we attempt to navigate this software. Now we're watching the video we just streamed. That's really helpful. Now you're in a time loop. Welcome. Welcome to the time loop. All right. Now let's try and watch the video we uploaded since YouTube is not processing our video. We apologize for any inconvenience. All right. So, we have uploaded today's video, as we always do. Unfortunately, it's not playing, so I'm going to play it directly off of my phone. Just bear with me. I'm going to play it right in the recording software because I don't have time to monkey around. On the 12th day of censorship my Facebook gave to me, 12 posts not posted, 11 facts suppressed, 10 videos not viewed, 9 pointless patches, 8 software crashes, 7 accounts deleted, 6 memes of Mark, 5 failed posts, 4 bans and groups, 3 Russian bots, 2 software fails, and a declining share price for FB. Just kidding, Facebook. It looks like our ban's been lifted. Just to rehash, so we got banned for 5 days, and then we got banned again right after the ban expired. We appealed both bans. We received 0 warnings, 0 explanations, and no response on our appeals. But it looked like last night the ban got lifted, so cheers. Merry Christmas, Facebook. UN Zuckerberg. We're looking at the sun in 2 separate views here. Got 94 angstroms on the left. And 304 on the right. We've got a sunspot rising. And a bunch of other stuff to get to. For those of you who are interested in the wavelengths, 94 angstroms, also 131 angstroms, which is the blue one that looks like that. Oops. The aqua one that looks like that. Those are the only ones that update every 2 seconds instead of every 10 seconds. And these are ionized ion wavelengths, 94 and 131. Faster, basically a higher resolution in terms of taking more photos. Here's your 171 angstroms view. You can see this beta class sunspot rising here toward the end of the video. And a bunch of magnetic activity going on all around the corona. We're waiting to see some crown prominences. Zoom way in on that. That is a beta class sunspot, meaning that it has 2 magnetic fields instead of 1. We'll be keeping an eye on that. It's gone all the way around the sun. Let's see if the Earth-facing quiet effect kicks in. And here's your magnetogram. Zoom way in on that. You can see the 2 separate fields there. Moving on. Here's your real-time solar wind. You can see the BZ is slightly in the positive. BT is up there. Nothing too extreme about that. Phi angle indicating Earth to Sun magnetic connection as opposed to Sun to Earth. Solar wind density 3.99 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed very low at 336 kilometers per second. And you can see the X-ray flux is still flatlined basically. This looks like a cosmic ray anomaly. You see that flat spot? That appears to be lost data from the Discover. And we know it's been susceptible to cosmic rays before. We'll be looking at cosmic rays in a moment. Magnetometer is looking a little smoother. And the range has gotten a little bigger, a little higher highs. But not really lower lows. KP index has been at either 1 or 0 for the past 3 days. So, low-level human health cosmic ray alert continues. Let's let this play through so we get an idea of what the prediction of the heliospheric current sheet. Also, just keep in mind that this also does show you Mars, which is red, Mercury, which is orange, Venus, which is green. There's the Earth. Here's the Parker Solar Probe. And let's just let that play through in case we need it for further reference. Now we've had a small dip in the electron flux, but that's very smooth. And electrons are getting to pretty high levels here, although we don't see any charging hazards. Magnetosphere extremely weak. However, the ionosphere is looking pretty normal. And this anomaly that we've been seeing regularly over South America is back, but it's not super crazy. It's pretty basic. I mean, that's a pretty normal ionosphere there. And there's your auroral forecasts. Regarding earthquakes, the largest one we've seen recently is in Tonga, which is just to the southeast of Fiji. Let's go back about 11 hours. Got a 4.5 in Chile, 5.6 in China, 4.7 in Vanuatu, and 4.7 in India. Little uptick there. There's the biggest quake we've had in Tonga, 6.4, 5.6 in Japan. Oh, by the way, Tonga should remain on alert for a 6.5 plus, as this one was at 100.2 kilometers depth. Another one in Tonga, also at depth, although a smaller magnitude. Greece is still rocking, 4.0. Another 4.7 in Japan, 4.6 in Japan. 4.8 in Russia, and 4.5 in Indonesia. We had a question in our comments yesterday about what the phi angle is. Phi angle is a measurement of the magnetosphere. And what it is when you see a solid signal like this around 180 degrees, that means a solar to Earth magnetic connection. And when you see it around 0 or 360 degrees, which are basically the same place on a circular XY coordinate map, that means Earth to Sun magnetic connection. And so, for instance, one of the ways that we see coronal holes connecting to the Earth is when we see this kind of a signal here. When we see this kind of a signal here, that's an indication of a Sun to Earth magnetic connection, and that can be associated with earthquakes. So we'll leave a link to this if you want to do any further reading, but in short, that's what the phi angle is. Also, we had some comments about the Schumann resonances last night, so we decided to tune into that, and just as we were getting the message, we noticed this crazy set of spikes. Couldn't find anything else on the planet correlating to that, so if anybody's got any correlative data about that, I would be more than interested to see it. Keep in mind, we will leave links to this site, although just keep in mind that for some reason this is expressed in local time in Tomsk. So just in case you're in Tomsk, wherever that is. So anyway, we'll leave links to that. Let's look at some cosmic ray monitors. Here's the Russia. This is a neutron monitor in Moscow. And the past few days are actually the highest we've had since early December. So that confirms your cosmic ray uptick. Let's see if Athens, Greece agrees. Not quite as big of a variation in Athens. Looking at Mexico, Mexico agrees with Moscow, although not a huge surge there. Go to Oulu, Finland, and Oulu, Finland agrees with Moscow also. We would also like to note that while cosmic ray flux is quite high right now, the highest levels ever measured actually took place more like 2009 to 2010 at the last solar minimum. Part of the reason why we watch this is because perhaps cosmic rays are an indication of what the sun will do. Let's do a value-added service. Since it's Christmas Eve, let's let our viewers know what's going on with the weather situation in the U.S. Here you see the U.S. Doppler radar, compliments of AccuWeather.com. Now here in eastern PA, east central PA that is, we had a forecast for a dusting to an inch of snow last night. Didn't get it, it's just raining. But anyway, there's your Doppler radar. This run is from 2:30 a.m. to 3:45 a.m. Here's your AccuWeather U.S. water vapor animation. Keep in mind this is a different run. This is from 1:45 to 3:15. You can see some dry massive air pushing down this way into the west coast. And looks like the jet stream is doing this sort of thing right now. Let's look at the wind map on windy. Here are your upper level wind currents. And you can see another example of meridional jet stream flow here. Jet stream is all broken up. It gets over the U.S., it turns into low pressure. By the way, this is the wind at 9,000 meters altitude. Let's drop it down and show you the surface winds. In the meantime, let's let you know that the Windy app is free. We're not paid to say this. And I don't know why you wouldn't have this. This has so many analysis tools, and it is so handy. Keeps you off of web pages, and it does a million different things. It'll even show you the current radar, including lightning. Windy.com for the free app. Highly recommended. And looking at the GS snow accumulation model on Tropical Tidbits. Bring that back here. All right. Let's just bring it up to Christmas. There's your white Christmas forecast. There you go. That's through the 26th. That's midnight on Christmas. So by the end of the day, Christmas, that's what the GFS model indicates the snow situation is going to look like. West Central hammered. And the Northeast getting a little bit. Let's look at the magnetosphere movies. Looking even weaker than it has before. Solar wind speed is indeed very low. Let that play through. A couple little spikes there. Looks like there's a bit of an increasing fluctuation in this. Something to keep an eye on throughout the day. Could have some geomagnetic unrest associated with that. In fact, that indeed looks like geomagnetic unrest. All right, let's close things out at 193 angstroms. See that coronal hole rotating in? We await the magnetic connection to that. And we'll be eyeing up that sunspot as it rises. I believe it's 2729. Don't quote me on that. Now remember, on your way out caroling, don't drink. And if you drink, well, wait a minute. You can drink and carol because you don't drive, right? Anyway, drink as much as you like when you carol. Just don't fall down any steps or anything like that. Be safe out there. It's Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas, everybody. We'll be doing it again tomorrow. We don't care what the date is. Thanks for watching. Thanks, subscribers. Please share on your social media. Happy Christmas! Yeah, it's a little more quiet than normal because we had to live stream. There was no way to get the full audio because YouTube is not processing the video. Anyway, while everybody's here, since it's a live stream, now we can look at some extra stuff like this. Let's reload these magnetosphere movies because we've had some waves rolling in. Pressure, velocity, density waves. We're sitting right next to the Wi-Fi. It should load pretty fast. You can see the magnetosphere is super weak. Look at that. There's more density in the magnetotail than there is in the bow shock. Hey, happy Christmas, everybody. Cheers. So there's your pressure. You're going to see some waves coming in. Watch. Boom. There's one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another solar wind spike. You see how significantly it affects the magnetosphere when it's so weak? Let's look at the density. You'll actually be able to see the solar plasma coming in at different curtains of density there. Also take note of the very front of the bow shock. You can see there's like an empty space there. Which is not a bad thing. That's what you want to see. Let that play through. So as long as the live video gets uploaded, we'll end up with a little bit of extra information at the end instead of no information at all. Let's watch those waves roll in on the velocity map. This is the velocity. Looks like a snow angel right there. Check it out. I got the wrong color here. Let me fix that. Check it out. It's a magnetospheric angel. Made out of magnetic field force lines, folks. Cheers. And there you have it. All right, I got to quit the live feed because I got a whole bunch of Christmas Eve things I got to do. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Cheers. There'll be more coming later today.